Hi, it's Dewan Johnson with Think Bigger Coaching and your Fearless Think Bigger Tribe Facebook group leader. I'm pretty excited that you're taking the time for your career and checking out this awesome masterclass on Audition Success Plan. I won't spend a lot of time going through all of my background, but I think it's really important to say a few things about myself. I love working with actors, always have. I'm a currently working actor myself on my fourth season of Amazon's hit show Bosch. I taught acting in Los Angeles at a couple of well-known popular studios, and I'm a certified life coach, specifically trained and working with actors. You guys are my peeps, so I love working with you all. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about me because I know you came here to learn something. And so I want to make sure that I provide a lot of value for you while in the time that we have. So I've uncovered 7 key tools to crushing it as a working actor. But because our time is limited today, I've only selected one of those tools to get you started in the best possible way. Why? Because my intention is for you to walk away from our time together feeling like you've learned something with specific action steps. Yes, let me say that again. I want you to walk away with specific action steps from this master class today. So again, we're only going to be covering audition success plan, which is tool number 5. And it was so hard to narrow it down and figure out which one of these I was going to teach because I believe in each one of these steps. So they're so important. And let me tell you, you might learn everything you need during this webinar to get you working more as an actor. I also know that you might want to get your hands on the complete 7-part toolkit. Don't worry. I'm also going to give you the opportunity to work directly with me and get my proven system to help you crush it during pilot season. But okay, let's jump right into some learning. Tool number 5, one of the pro actor tips that I attribute a lot of my success to is having an audition success plan in place. We've all been there. You're about to head out the door and your email notification sound goes off. Or when I was working my survival bartending job, I was at work and I get the message that an appointment's come in. A moment that should be a hooray and an appointment comes in and it gets muddy with crap. I'm at work or I'm on my way to a red carpet function and what do I do because it's tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. A similar thing also happened to one of my clients in the power groups that I run. And she says, I have an audition. I would have gotten coached for my audition, but it just happened so quick. I got notified at 10 p.m. I don't have a go-to last minute coach. Any suggestions? Who does everyone use? Or does anyone have a suggestion that would work for me for the next time? It probably needs to be someone that I can use over Skype. I also saw this message on Facebook where a friend of mine said, help, my acting coach just went out of town today. And of course, I would get a guest star audition for tomorrow. To my actor and industry friends, any suggestions, recommendations? And I can't tell you how many times this has happened to me personally. And after this happened time and time again, because hey, I was at my survival bartending job for 12 years before I shifted my mindset and quit. If you remember that from any past conversations I've ever had before. After this happened so many times to me, I began to develop my audition success plan. So I can stop being reactive to appointments and start being proactive to them. When you plan for things, you don't have time to stress for things, or you don't need to stress for those things anymore because you already have a plan locked and loaded in place. I'm going to take you through my step-by-step process of, hey, in the moment when you get the call or email, from walking into the room, the audition room, and how you want to feel when you walk out, and your post-audition strategy. Step 1, before the appointment comes in, the pre-game plan. I want you to stop and think of your thoughts at the end of the audition. Yes, go all the way to the end of the audition. Any audition will do. As you're walking out of the room, what do you want to say to yourself when you're done? That you gave it your best, that you played in the room, that you did everything you possibly could? So what I want you to do right now is stop and write down what you want to say to yourself after every audition, for that matter, every audition that you get. What do you want to say when you walk out of that room? Great. Got it? Now I want you to work backwards. In order for that to become a reality, what do you need to put in place before the audition? I don't know what your answer is going to be. This is why you have to sit back for a second and right now, and jot it down. For example, for me, I know that in order to walk out of a room feeling like a rock star, I need to feel fully prepared walking into the room. I feel confident and amazing when I've done all I can on the craft side of things, and that starts with me getting coached and on that specific audition. I also need to make sure that my mindset is in the right place. So I want to make sure that I save time or build in the time for the following morning of that before the audition comes in. That following morning, that I have meditation time to clear my head and just center myself. Sometimes I don't have that time, and before I get into the audition, before I go into the audition room or office, I sit in my car and spend about 5 or 10 minutes just clearing my mind on that. So what do you need? Write it down. Step 2 of your audition success plan is preparation time. How much time do you really need? So I know this isn't going to come as a surprise to you, but time does not stop because we get an audition. Like I said in some of those examples before, that you have to go out and make that money at your survival job, or you're walking out the door to a red carpet event or a family function, or any number of things happen, and you cannot just put a pause button on life to focus on this audition that's really important to you. So one of the things that you got to get crystal clear on is, how much time do you really need to focus on this audition? For me, like, I need 2 hours, like 2 solid hours of time prep working on those auditions. Now that might not come in a consecutive time slot. It might come 20 minutes here, 30 minutes here. I got to go feed my sons or do something like that, and I come back and I work it out. But I know if I'm really good on about 2 hours of prep time. So what I want you to do is ask yourself, how much time do I really need, focused time do I really need to prepare for this audition, right? And the second part of this step, which is a pro actor tip from me, is always work with a live person. What I want you to do is create a list of 3 go-to professional coaches and 3 actor friends. Yes, I am saying to you, you must work with someone live. I want you to write this list down. I suggest putting it in your phone or putting it somewhere where you can see it every day. So this is readily available to you when the audition comes up. It's not a question of who should, no, not who, it's not a question of should I coach or not, but who will I coach with? This step for me was a game changer. It just takes it off the mental bandwidth of like, oh gosh, what do I do next? No, I already know that I am going to work with somebody, because every single audition I go in for, I always make sure I work with somebody live, a live person that I can hear them saying the words, they can hear me saying the words, and it goes back and forth like that. Now, I want to be crystal clear here. You do not have to be in person with that coach. You can be doing this over Skype or FaceTime as well. Okay, you will get the same benefits from it, but I do recommend trying to get to in person if you can. But if you can't, don't worry about it. The key here is making sure you hear your audition out before you go into the audition with a live person. So for step 2, I want you to start at the top and say, how much time do I really need to prepare for this audition? Again, for me, it's 2 hours. What's it for you? And then the second part of this is writing down the 3 professional coaches and the 3 personal actor friends or coaches that you want to work with. I do want to throw an addendum in there for the 3 personal coaches. Unless it absolutely has to be, it should not be maybe like a significant other or something like that, or a really close friend that's not in the business. Try to get somebody in the business. Step 3, letting it go and playing. One of the last questions I asked myself before going into the room is, How can I just play here? What's it going to take for me to let go of all the work? And I put a lot of work into my auditions and just play because nobody wants to see all the work you've done there. Or sometimes I wonder, how can I just play in this audition? These are just questions that I ask myself before going into the room. I think you should write these answers down. What's it going to take for you to let go of the work, to play and be completely detached from the outcome of this audition? You know, Wendy Braun, who's a motivational coach and speaker, has this awesome mantra she said with me during the Think Bigger Summit that she uses right before going into an audition is, if not this one, then the next one. And I think that's so awesome because, you know, the nerves pop up before you go and into these rooms. And so it just takes it off and just allows you just to play. One of the mantras that I usually say if I get nervous or walking into a room and I need more time to play or more a permission to play is, I'm confident, I'm talented, I'm a booker. I say this right before I walk into an audition or a room. I'm confident, I'm talented, I'm a booker. How can I play here? So I want you to ask yourself that question. What's it going to take for you to play in your next audition? What's the answer to that question? How can I be detached from the outcome of booking this audition, of what it means if I get it and I get to go to Comic-Con or anything, like just detached from all that? What's it going to take for me to play and be my awesome creative self? I want you to write this down. In short, what do you need? So far, I think you should be starting to see a pattern by now. I keep asking you to write things down. Just so you know, writing things down locks in the information in a different way, in a stronger way, a more confident way than simply just thinking it in your head. Sometimes we think these things in our head and we think we're going to remember them, but we don't. So I want you to start writing these things down, putting them in your phone, setting reminders. All of this stuff will help you moving forward. Okay, step 4, post-audition plan. All right, so after audition, I think we've worked so hard. You've been through the first steps, 1, step 2, step 3. You've worked so hard and you walk out of that audition and the first thing you do is try to replay it or how did it go and all that stuff like that. But the first thing I want you to do is thank yourself for an awesome audition. If you feel it didn't go as well, then that's okay too, because you can take some time to figure out what you can improve on only for improvement purposes, not for beating yourself up purposes, but check in with yourself on how that went. Here's an actor pro tip because your mind can play tricks on you. Your first thought after the audition is the right thought. Not the 17th thought, but your first thought is the right thought before you start overanalyzing. Have you ever walked out of an audition and he's like, that went amazing, that went so good, but after you don't get a call after a few hours or hear from your reps after a few hours, you start to like overanalyze it. Or maybe because I said the instead of the, that this is why I haven't gotten it, all that stuff. Don't worry about that. That's you being irrational. Your first thought is your right thought. And then I want you to have something going on after your audition. Have something going on that will take your mind off of that. Maybe it's lunch with a friend, or maybe it's jumping into the rest of your Actors Crush It kit, diving into some more stuff, or maybe it's hanging out with your family. But have something else going on that takes your mind off of what you just did and this event that just happened, this audition. Okay. The fourth thing is there's a marketing step here. And I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that, like, after your audition, send a thank you card. Send a thank you card. Closure. Close that part of it. Yes, if there's a callback or there's a network test or anything that happens after that, that's just gravy. But you've done all you can do on that part of the audition. Remember, there's a part of it we are practicing letting go and being detached of the outcome. And this is your way of putting a nice little bow on that and just having closure. So a marketing step I always do is I send a nice little thank you card in an envelope, thank you, or a social media tweet or Facebook to that casting office, not putting the project or anything like that in there, but simply just saying, it was wonderful to meet you today. Thank you for bringing me in. That's it. That's all I say, and we're done with that. So a recap of step 4 after the audition: 1, thank yourself. 2, check in with yourself on how that went. Remember, first thought is the right thought. 3, have something going on. Have something else going on after your audition. And 4, don't forget the marketing step of that will bring closure to this audition. That is your detachment of the outcome. We're done with it. We're moving on. Send a thank you card or a tweet or a Facebook message, whatever you would like to do at that point. I want to take a second to say that I think the audition success plan is great for all times of the year. I mean, you hear someone telling you, "Wow, this is a really slow time of year." Well, it's not always slow for everybody. There's people out there working. So, think about this. Pilots are casting year round. They really are. Traditional pilot season is from January to April. Cable pilot season is the summer, and then episodic season is like the end of July or after the 4th of July, all the way till November. Well, actually, if we're really being honest, it's all the way until about March is episodic season. So even while pilot season is going, episodic season is also casting. This is why you must have an audition success plan in place and be ready to go at a moment's notice or at all times. So these specific 4 steps that I've just given you, these are actionable steps that you need to put into your audition success plan and have it ready to go at a moment's notice. Okay, so let's recap the 4 steps to your audition success plan. Step 1, the pre-game plan. How do you want to feel when you walk out of the audition? We work backwards there so that we have a template of what we need to feel successful walking into the audition. Prep time. How much prep time do you really need? Remember, time doesn't stop just because we get an audition. And there's a proactive tip in there. I want you to come up with 3 professional coaches and 3 actor friends that you can work with live, whether that's in Skype or in person, a live human being on every audition moving forward. So again, it's not a question of should I coach or not, but who will I coach with? And you have that name, those lists are names on that list already ready to go. Third one, step 3, playtime. Letting it go and playing. Those questions: how can I walk into this audition just playing? How can I play here? Coming up with your own mantra. I'm confident. I'm a booker. I'm talented before you walk in a room. Those are my mantras. You can steal them or you can come up with your own. But what's going to lock you into just playtime? Step 4, post-game plan. We talked about the 4 quick steps in there: thanking yourself, checking in with yourself on how that audition went, and remembering your first thought is the right thought, and then have something going on was part 3 of that. And then the 4th step was in there was what was the 4th step? Marketing, making sure that you send a little thank you card, putting a little closure on this audition, because we are totally detached from the outcome of it. I got an email from Deadline Hollywood yesterday that said Netflix plans 80 original movies in 2018. That's a lot of movies. Not to mention all of the currently casting shows that are already going on, the projects that are happening right now, all of the pilots that are getting ready to be picked up as we speak. That's a lot of opportunity if you have the right plan in place and you're willing to take action. But the really good news is that I've created the Actors Crush It Kit. This is the perfect formula to carry you through a busy pilot season and a busy Netflix season, if we're being honest here, and well beyond. You remember all those other seasons that I mentioned a second ago: the traditional pilot season, the cable pilot season, and the episodic season. All of that stuff is covered in the Actors Crush It Kit. Here's what you get in the kit. We will spend 7 weeks going over 7 tools. The first one and the cornerstone of the whole entire toolkit will be mindset. Then we're going to cover your absolute yes package. What needs to go into your package to design yourself and your career for a yes? That could be a resume, your reel, your headshot, your website, all those things we talk about in the absolute yes package week. Then we go into self tape studio. I'm going to give you like what working actors are using for their home studios, the cameras, the light packages. All those things will be answered in a self-taping studio week, or what you should be looking for if you go get your self tapes professionally done. Fan check. We're going to talk about nobody in this industry has done this alone. How to keep up with your fans, how to engage them, how to foster relationships, and to reignite those relationships. Then we'll talk about your filling your creative tank. So many times we go through this life and as actors and we don't have any acting throughout our week. Maybe we'll do 2 to 4 hours in a class, but we don't do more than that. So we're going to talk about filling your creative tank for week 5. 6 will be, we've already talked about the audition success plan, but we'll go a little bit deeper into it. And there's a little bit more we're going to talk about during week 6. And week 7, I think many people out here in Los Angeles or New York or Chicago or wherever you are in the world listening to this masterclass, you forget the one important step that we need to find our tribe as actors, somewhere where there's community, where there's support, and there's accountability. And I'm going to give you templates and things like that to making sure that you can find that so that you can thrive in this industry. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about is making sure you finish this program. So there will be plenty of implementation time so that if you take a day off, you are not so far behind. Again, my intention is to have you complete this program and come out on the other side ready to book more work. This program also comes with 4 group strategy calls directly with me where you get to ask me any questions about the tools you've been learning prior to that week in those modules, and a place if you get stuck, whatever comes up. I break down each tool and we spend a week on getting your materials to pro actor level. I take it a step further and provide you with templates, cheat sheets, and more to make sure you feel extremely supported with direction on completing that tool or that module for the week. For example, I can't wait to pull back the curtain as to what goes into my personal home studio, self-taping home studio, or what other actors are putting into theirs. Complete, like I said before, complete with like their mic, their lighting packages, and even camera suggestions. There are so many actions out there to take for your career. So many actions. Why not take a focused action with a pro actor? Me. I want to let you know that I intentionally price this Actors Crush It kit so money does not have to be an obstacle for you. It's just $297, and yes, there's a payment plan is available if you need it. It's $163 for a payment plan and payable in 2 payments. You know, I'm so excited to bring this incredible program to you in one concise package. I've been successfully coaching actors on these tools individually for years, and now it's all in one place. I can't think of a better program to help you maximize pilot season, but more importantly, continue booking work long after pilot season is over. Because hey, like I said earlier, Netflix is planning 80 original scripted movies next year in 2018. So, please make sure that the first action you take after this masterclass is to visit www.actorscrushItkit.com, check out the program details, and decide if that's how you want to propel yourself forward. I want to put a disclaimer out there. This program is not for you if you are not ready to take your career to the next level, if you don't want to work hard and see some results. It's not for you if you're not ready to roll up your sleeves and put focused work on your career. Action. I'm all about action, and I want you to imagine the new possibilities that could come from working on these 7 actor tool pro tips. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I know it's valuable. I really do. My time is valuable just as much. So I can't wait to see you inside the Actors Crusher Kit and give you and your career the D12 shot it's needed.